Hi, this is Stephen Brower from Raton Valley Community College. This is meant to be a very brief overview of the Office 11B exercise. Part of it is a repeat of Professor Schwartz's video on getting a file, but I just wanted to step through a couple things using the course that we have. Okay, so for this Thursday, I'm going to, from the timeline here in Web Study, I'm going to go into that particular assignment. Sorry for the noise. The 11B. And the starting file that is here is what we're going to, at one point going through the exercise, is going to ask you to open that. Now, a couple of things I do want to point out is with this kind of attachment, one thing you could choose to do is you could do a right-click, Save Target As, and pick specifically where you want to save it. So if I do a right-click, Save Link As, I apologize, instead of Save Target. And so I remember earlier I created that Summer 2000 folder. And since this is the Office 11B, let me, just so I can organize for myself, put that this is going to be the Office, respond keyboard, Office. Now, you don't have to do the creating of the folder the way I'm doing. I just figured I'll, to organize my files this way, I'll go and do that. Now, although the instructions do have us rename the file, and in theory you could go and rename it here. If for some reason you have to start over, you don't want to have to go back to Web Study to get the file. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save so that the starter file is now on my hard drive in that folder location that I have. Now, since the instructions do have us open that file and then do a save as, so what I can do now is click on that file that I had just saved, and it may at some point ask, do you want to trust, do the enable editing, because trust this file. And as they direct us, let me just give myself a little more real estate here, to begin by doing a file save as. And the default is the current location where it is. And what I want to do is, following the directions, is to rename it as, now it's last name underscore first name, and I'm going to pretend I'm Homer Simpson. Took me that long to find the underscore. I'm working on a micro keyboard, and I'm not used to certain characters. I do apologize. Okay, so I now have it, last name, first name, the 11B rehearsal dinner, the way they've directed, and then hit save. So let's say for some reason, suppose like 3 pages from now I make a mistake, a horrible mistake, and I kind of lose everything. I don't have to go back to Web Study to reopen that starter file and then go from there. Now, what I'm about to say is not a good suggestion. I'm just going to let you know this is a suggestion that someone else had made, a student in the past, and it doesn't always kind of hold true, but they thought it kind of worked. On page 439, the beginning of Project 11B, there's a picture of what the final thing is going to look like. And they just figured, well, they can just go and look at it and eyeball it and make it work. Possibly for the 11B and the 12A, I'm sorry, the Office 11B, this one, and possibly for the 12A, the flyer, that will work. But what will happen after a while is there'll be some other things that need to be embedded or information that's put in, and eyeballing it just may not necessarily do it. But the thing to keep in mind, though, is if you're trying to figure out what is we're going to, like if this was a cooking show, the final completed dish that we're cooking is on page 439. That's what we're going to get to. This is where this is right now. This is the starting point. And so the steps that go through 439 through 466, well, actually 465. Well, actually, the finishing of the file really takes place in the vicinity of, I guess, 461 is when you're actually finally done with the file itself. But anyway, so it's through those pages, the 439 to the 461, it'll step you through the making of the changes. And it'll have to do with formatting this line here, formatting this paragraph a particular way, adding in a picture down here below. One thing that, now I may not be following the exact steps in the book, but I just want to end this video by talking about this, the picture. If for some reason that you don't have the picture that they're asking you to create, so let me do an online picture. Now, they actually ask us to search for something different than what I'm about to search for. Let's just pretend, though, that you go through and you can't find the particular item that you want. If you actually just do something different, I'm going to call this plate. And again, I'm not encouraging you to do specifically this. I'm just trying to point out that if you can't find the exact picture that the book is calling for, pick something that is similar. So in case you can't find the picture that's in the book, say, well, that looks like a piece of chunk of food on a plate, right? And just go and pick it and put it in. So it's actually a very different meal than what is depicted, but at least it's a picture. Okay. That's enough for now. Ooh. Where is...